Welcome to the world of Recapetified. Brace yourselves for an electrifying journey as we delve into the heart of the Forever Purge, a ruthless crusade to seize control, leaving America teetering on the brink of irreparable destruction. Join us as we unravel the intricate web of betrayal, greed, and rebellion that threatens to shatter the very essence of the nation, and hit that subscribe button for more captivating content. The movie kicks off with Adela and Juan, a Mexican couple, embarking on a perilous journey towards the American border. Upon reaching a hut, they hand a package to the cartel leader for permission to enter a tunnel already crowded with others seeking passage. Amidst the chaos, a child guides them, but Adela panics when she momentarily loses sight of him. Their relief turns to astonishment when the child suddenly reappears. As they make their illegal entry into America, the child advises them to follow a rose in case of emergencies. Illegal immigration from Mexico surges as people flee cartel violence in pursuit of the American dream, exacerbating racial tensions. The new Five Fathers in America (NFFA) proposes the purge as a drastic solution to these mounting issues. Fast forward 10 months, a day before the purge, we meet the Tucker family on their ranch. Dylan, seeking approval from his father Caleb and sister Harper, tries and fails to tame a horse, resulting in an injury. Caleb calls upon Juan, who works on their ranch, to effortlessly handle the task, stoking Dylan's jealousy. Meanwhile, Adela works at a hotel, befriending Rosa, another struggling immigrant. Adela earns praise from her boss, Darius, for her kindness. At home, she encourages Juan to improve his English to better integrate with the Tucker family. In another part of town, Dylan's bitterness towards Mexicans surfaces during a dinner conversation with friends. Despite his friend's suggestion to introduce him to her Mexican maid sister, Dylan vehemently refuses, exposing his deep-seated animosity. The following day, Adela diligently practices her English, oblivious to two men preparing for the purge nearby. Meanwhile, tension escalates as Dylan reprimands Juan for being late, threatening to fire him. Despite the pressure, Juan remains composed. Shortly after, Caleb arrives with purge protection bonuses for TT and Kirk. In a candid moment, Juan confides in Caleb about Dylan's disdain towards him, questioning the idea of being a proud American amidst pervasive violence. Caleb, impressed by Juan's honesty, hands him his bonus before leaving, unaware of Kirk's suspicions. In another part of the neighborhood, Adela and Juan prepare their home for the purge, expecting TT's arrival with a school bus. Meanwhile, Dylan fortifies his residence, consumed by concern for his family's safety. Adela and Juan embark on a perilous journey to a sanctuary, witnessing chilling preparations for the night ahead. Upon arrival, TT compensates Captain for their protection services, leading them into safety as the purge begins. As fear permeates the air, Adela and Juan find comfort in each other, with Juan embracing America as his home, encouraged by Adela to adapt to their surroundings. Meanwhile, Dylan monitors his surveillance cameras anxiously, but misses an intruder when momentarily distracted by outside noises. Investigating, he discovers only his generator, but his focus shifts to his firearms as Cassidy unexpectedly arrives, offering reassurance. Amidst the escalating violence, Adela confides in Captain about her fears, only to face self-proclaimed patriots set on purging illegal immigrants. Witnessing brutality with a gun in hand, she's restrained by Captain's warnings against provoking further conflict. As the van departs, so does Adela, shattered by the night's horrors. The next morning, Adela, Juan, and their companions savor the post-purge moment, while Dylan directs Harper back to work. As Dylan resumes his routine, TT and Juan head to the ranch while Adela goes to her restaurant. Dylan, checking his security cameras, discovers one malfunctioning. Similarly, Adela finds her kitchen empty, missing most colleagues. As Dylan searches his stable, he's ambushed by masked men. Meanwhile, Adela discovers a trap goat falling into a trap set by Purgers. Darius intervenes, killing one Purger and saving Adela. Police arrive, arresting Darius and Adela, leaving Rosa panicked. Meanwhile, Juan and TT hear gunshots at the ranch, spotting horses fleeing. The scene shifts to masked men holding Dylan's family hostage, one unmasking as Kirk. Kirk struck Dylan, asserting his intention to replace him and seize control of everything he owns. He demanded a ransom for each member of Dylan's family, but soon realized he had left Dylan penniless. Sensing Caleb had something to say, Kirk ordered his men to let him speak, while TT and Juan secretly observed everything. Caleb blamed the system for the widening gap between the rich and the poor, making Kirk realize he was a hypocrite, as the purge was conceived by wealthy individuals in power. Kirk lost his composure upon hearing this and violently silenced Caleb. Seizing the opportunity, Juan and TT attacked Kirk and his men. saving Dylan and his family. As Kirk fell, his men called for backup, prompting Juan and his companions to flee in a truck. Meanwhile, Adela and Darius found themselves inside a police van with two defeated Purgers. Juan attempted to reach his wife but failed each time. He received a call from Rosa, informing him of her arrest. Juan informed his companions about her situation when Cassidy suggested they find his wife first before seeking safety. Adela and Darius were horrified by the Purgers' excitement about the Forever Purge and struggled to comprehend what was happening. Dylan drove for a while until they encountered a blocked road. Juan and TT prepared to search for Adela on foot when Harper insisted on joining them, citing their earlier rescue. Juan, Harper, and TT left the truck while Dylan and Cassidy decided to await their return. Back with Adela and Darius, the male Purger got excited upon hearing gunshots, adding to Adela's worries. Suddenly, an attacker fires an RPG at their van, killing the officers and flipping the vehicle. On the other side, Dylan spots a man planning an attack and jumps off the truck, handing a gun to Cassidy. As the man tries to break into the truck, Dylan shoots him. But the danger isn't over yet. Another assailant appears with a hammer and Dylan fights back, ultimately defeating him with his own weapon. Amidst the chaos, the female prisoner dies instantly, while the male attempts to assault Adela. She fights back fiercely, blinding him, prompting Darius to intervene and end the threat. As they struggle to regain composure, Adela and Darius are startled by the sounds of Purgers surrounding the van. Just as the door is about to give way, Juan appears, bringing a sense of relief. Suddenly, Dylan and Cassidy arrive in the truck, but Darius leaves, mentioning he must assist his family. Leaving the town, they find refuge in a motel where Harper and TT gather supplies. Cassidy expresses concern for her unborn child, and Adela comforts her, emphasizing their unity in facing adversity. Despite attempts to seek help, they realize the dire situation as the military has destroyed communication towers. With limited options, they learn from TT that the Mexican president and Canadian prime minister have opened their borders for a brief period. They decide to head for Mexico, a risky yet hopeful endeavor. During their journey, Juan and Dylan engage in a heartfelt conversation. Juan questions Dylan's views on Mexicans, to which Dylan responds with respect for both cultures, rejecting hate and supremacy. This exchange strengthens their bond amidst the turmoil. Their journey takes a dangerous turn as they encounter Purgers on bikes. Harper's quick thinking and use of a Forever Purge flag help them evade immediate danger. However, their troubles are far from over as they reach El Paso, Texas, where martial law is in effect. Attempting to reach the border, their truck breaks down just a mile away, leaving them stranded and vulnerable once again. Juan and his companions opt to cover the mile on foot, encountering and dispatching numerous Forever Purgers along the way. Seeking refuge from a tank, they find solace in a theater, but their respite is short-lived as a tank fire at them, briefly incapacitating them. Upon regaining consciousness, Juan, TT, Harper, and Dylan realize they've been separated from Adela and Cassidy. Juan directs them to traverse the theater while he promises to rendezvous on the other side. Adela and Cassidy face their own challenges as they encounter two attackers in the makeup room. Adela swiftly subdues them. Meanwhile, Juan and his group press forward, with Juan noticing a rose symbol on the wall, which he shares with TT. As Adela and Cassidy exit the theater, they spot the same rose symbol, a poignant reminder of earlier events. Dylan's determination to find his wife prompts Juan to explain that following the rose symbols is their best chance for reunion. Meanwhile, Adela and Cassidy take cover, sparking a conversation where Adela reveals her past experiences fighting cartels in Mexico. As they follow the symbols, Juan and his companions find themselves surrounded by Alpha Leader and his men. Tensions escalate as Alpha Leader and his girlfriend, Mother, offer Harper and Dylan a choice: kill Juan and TT for their country. When they refuse, Alpha Leader injures Juan, and Mother fatally wounds TT. The chaos intensifies as NFFA forces arrive, engaging Alpha Leader's team in a deadly firefight. In self-defense, Juan shoots Mother and escapes, leaving behind TT's lifeless body. After a tense journey, Adela and Cassidy finally arrive at a building marked with the last rose symbol. Inside, they encounter two men, whom Adela quickly reassures, divulging Cassidy's pregnancy and their need for help. Reunited with their wives, Juan and Dylan's relief is short-lived, as news reports reveal the destruction of the El Paso military base by Purgers, resulting in the border closure. Fear grips them all as they anticipate worsening conditions. However, hope flickers as the boss lady orders her men to summon Chiago, the anti-purge tribal leader, for assistance. They anxiously await his arrival, and to their relief he appears with the boss lady's men, offering a glimmer of hope in their dire circumstances. Chiago swiftly instructs her to gather her men onto the bus, but the scene abruptly shifts to Alpha Leader mourning Mother's death. His mourning is interrupted by a phone call informing him that Juan is making his way towards the Mexican border via the reservation. Determined to eliminate them all, Alpha Leader orders his men to tail Juan and his group. In the morning, Juan queries Chiago about her tribe's long-standing presence on the border, discovering their generational knowledge of crossing. Meanwhile, the boss lady realizes Cassidy is in labor, offering reassurance and mentioning the medics waiting on the other side. As they approach their destination, Harper notices several approaching cars. Chiago directs everyone off the van, declaring they must proceed on foot. Dylan urges Cassidy to safety, while Harper volunteers to protect her. Once everyone has disembarked, Chiago and his soldiers, including Juan, Adela, and Dylan, assess their dwindling ammunition and resolve to make every bullet count. They wait for the perfect moment, and when Alpha Leader and his men draw near, they open fire. Chiago and his group fight valiantly until they run low on bullets. Taking cover behind a van, Alpha Leader and his men cautiously approach, only to find Chiago's group missing. They hide in the old rooms as Chiago and his comrade decide to guard the back door, eliminating 2 attackers. Meanwhile, Juan, Adela, and Dylan confront a biker circling the room until he enters and incapacitates Adela. Dylan and Juan engage the assailants, but Juan is overpowered. Adela regains consciousness and spots a nearby gun. With careful determination, she eliminates the man threatening Juan. However, Alpha Leader seizes Adela and prepares to kill her, demanding Juan's presence. Dylan and Juan join forces, systematically defeating Alpha Leader's men. Ultimately, they disarm Alpha Leader using their lassos, and Juan delivers the fatal shot, ending his reign. With Chiago's assistance, they successfully cross the border, where Dylan joyfully reunites with his wife, cradling their newborn daughter. As he revels in fatherhood, Juan and Adela arrive, offering their congratulations. Dylan expresses his heartfelt gratitude before they depart the camp, sealing their journey's conclusion with a shared kiss.